You know, there was a lot of great things about this film, but there was a lot of misses. I'll say that has to deal with the trailer that may have given too much away. My name is Brandon Keith Avery, and this is just my opinion. Hey, what's going on, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Just My Opinion for my Abigail movie review. And if this is your first time finding me and you happen to like the video, please give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing. All right, Abigail, I'm not going to complain about a title of a film that's just one word or the name of a character. I was looking forward to this one right here, if I had to be honest with you. Some people are trying to kidnap a little girl, ends up being a vampire. Hey, why not? Now, this is being directed by Matt Bettinelli-Olpin and also Tyler Gillett. If we scroll down and look at the filmography, they were in charge of Ready or Not, which was really good. I did enjoy that film, and I heard that they're going to be coming out with a Ready or Not 2 pretty soon. But they was also responsible for 2 of the 3 last Scream films, Scream 5 and Scream 6. And those were pretty decent if you ask me. Now, going into this film, I only saw the trailer one time and it did pique my interest. I was like, oh, this could be scary. Even though I tend to stay away from horror films, this did seem like something that I could handle because it's a slasher. I can do slashers for the most part. Those are easy. But some things when it comes to demon possession or whatever else in that realm, in that area, I tend to stay away from, but I thought I could handle this. But before I get into all the nitty gritty, before I talk about all my likes and dislikes, let me tell you exactly what this film Abigail is all about. After a group of criminals kidnap the ballerina daughter of a powerful underworld figure, they retreat to an isolated mansion, unaware that they're locked inside with no normal little girl. All right, guys, the first thing that I did not like that I loved about this movie is I've never experienced anything like this before. Ever since the first frame of this film starting with her doing these difficult ballerina dances, and we're speaking about Abigail, I just had respect for what I was seeing on screen. Like, my goodness gracious, I could never stretch my body or my toes to do anything like this. I have such respect for these dancers in this incredible craft. And on top of that, just the world, just this universe opening itself up to me as an audience member, as we're getting to know the characters, as we're getting to know the landscape and everything that this film has to offer. I've never seen anything like it before. I don't know where we were going, where we were headed, what was in store for me. I was just sitting back, relaxed, ready to take on this ride. And I was really having a great time. I got excited and just thrills came over my body with me not knowing what to expect. I knew the crap would eventually hit the fan, but I did not know how. And that's one of the things I really did love about this film is me trying to figure things out, me trying to predict what's going to happen next, but having no idea and being wrong 5 seconds after I thought I knew what was going to happen. And everything did feel fresh and new. Now, as far as the characters are concerned, they were quite interesting. They were funny at times. There was a number of, I don't want to say jokes, but sarcasm that landed quite well with the characters trying to get to know each other through their dialogue. And they're flawed. They're criminals. They're human beings, of course, so they're not going to be perfect and have things that they need to correct in their life. And that was very relatable. Sometimes people that you're forced to work with can have an ego, and that can really grind your gears. I enjoyed it, but it got on my nerve at the same time. But when these characters are conversing amongst themselves, trying to get to know each other and pick each other's brains, I thought that was a great way that the writers and directors came together to write this out so where it flows so smoothly and didn't feel like some giant exposition dump as you're trying to get to know everybody. It made literal sense for the plot that was going on at the time of the movie for everything to be spelled out this way. But everything starts to brew up. Everything starts very early on in this film with the kidnapping of the little girl. And you're just wondering, okay, what in the world is going on? What are all the secrets? Who is behind the scenes pulling all the strings? Who is in charge? Are they going to succeed or going to fail? Did they kidnap the wrong person? Did they mess with the wrong family? who is going to end out on top. And I could not wait for all these secrets to unravel itself. And once they did, it was delivering to me everything that I wanted. I was really, really entertained by this. But unfortunately, that fell short about halfway through the movie. Now, another great thing about this film is it does have a great cast with Melissa Barrera. She was part of the Scream franchise, one of the leads, and I am a fan of hers just from this film and from what I've seen from her in Scream. But we also have Angus Cloud in this film, rest in peace, my guy, and Giancarlo Esposito. Oh my goodness gracious, he has been in the game for the longest. I loved all of these characters in this film and some other that I'm not going to go down the list and name. But while they were great, some of the best people in this film were not in the film enough. I felt like their characters was wasted, and that's just a darn shame. I was saying to myself, if you're going to get such a great actor or actress to fulfill this role, why were they only in the movie for just a short amount of time? That's just a waste. That's just a tease. And I really did not like that. However, when the crap finally does hit the fan and Abigail reveals herself as the vampire, I said to myself, wow, I feel like the trailer has spoiled a lot in this film. I kind of know what's going to happen. But that's only for a brief moment. I only felt that way for 5 or 10 minutes out of a film that's about an hour and 45 minutes. So it's not that bad. But at that point in time, I did get a sour taste in my mouth. Now, about the titular character, Abigail, played by Alicia Ware, I've never seen her before in anything else, but for the most part, I thought she did a great job. I thought it was fantastic, her work in transitioning back and forth from an innocent little girl to a demonic, blood-sucking, vampire-eating demon. That was great. I would be terrified, and I was scared when she did pop up on screen, devouring these characters one by one. There's just something about seeing a 70 to 90 pound little girl overpowering grown men over 250 pounds that makes my skin crawl. So that was very, very effective in this film, and so one of the best parts of it too. Now, going back to the characters, I love their dialogue. I love how they was getting to know each other with their different personalities, some sarcasm, some jokes here and there, some just shooting out jabs, trying to outwit, outsmart the other person. And that was great at the very beginning of the film. However, I got a little disappointed because when things should have been taken more seriously towards the end of the film or the second half, I still feel the film was a bit too comedic at points and times, and that was jarring. It did clock me out a little bit. We have a vampire girl going around, so trying to kill you. So you shouldn't be cracking jokes or being sarcastic or taking the situation very, very light. Everybody should be serious back to back to back. And that was only executed about half the time. And that's just very, very frustrating. Now, in one sense, I'm not expecting these people to be ninja assassins and samurai and just know all the fighting techniques in the land. But at the same time, they do work in the criminal underworld. And for this particular field of work, you're going to have to know to defend yourself. So I did not feel that at all times they were putting their brains together to get out of the situation the best way that they could. It became very, very annoying at times, and I did not like that at all. I mean, if I'm locked in a house with a vampire trying to chase me, I'm not going anywhere by myself at all. No, we are going to be in groups of 4 at minimum, back to back to back to back. If the vampire does get us, it's not going to be because we're doing something stupid. We're going to give our all. And there were just a number of times where I didn't feel like the characters was doing that, just standing around, watching. Yes, I can understand that you have initial shock because you're seeing something that you did not know was humanly possible. But at the same time, man, you got to get it together and just dive in there and charge and just fight as best as you possibly can. And they just didn't do that a number of times in this film, and it made me upset. There was a ton of blood in this film. I have not seen a movie this bloody in quite some time, and that I did enjoy. If you want to see something bloody and bodies exploding here and there everywhere, this movie is for you. And I thought that the kills, the executions were decent, but they were a little brief. I kind of wish they would have drawn them out more with a nice score in the background just to show you how dark the situation was. But they were just too quick, fast, and swift for my particular taste, and they should have lingered on much, much longer. Now, I don't want to say that the third act of this film was trash, but it was the worst part of the movie for me. This film started out great and just started to go downhill as each minute passed by through the duration of this film. Towards the end of this movie, it just got silly and just random. People were making decisions on the fly, just being random and literally saying F it and just literally throwing their life away. And I was not a fan of that at all. There's just no way that I personally would accept the actions that a couple of the characters chose to do towards the end of this film. But I will give it credit because I had no idea how this movie was going to end, seriously. From the very beginning to the end, when I thought, even especially towards the end, that it was going to end in a certain way. Oh, we're going in this direction. Oh, okay, let's go. Oh, this is going to happen now. Oh, no, that didn't happen. What's going to happen next? Oh, no, you're giving me another twist, another curveball. Okay. So I will give the film credit there as far as I'm concerned. But in the end, you know, I was only slightly satisfied with what happened. It wasn't a trash ending, but at the same time, this film was not amazing, and I feel like it was a huge missed opportunity. I feel that this film would have been more successful to my taste if they just would have taken things more seriously and not lighthearted and goofy at moments when it just, you know, should have been dark, should have been sinister, but you know, it was just kind of too light, and that's just kind of weird. I will go ahead and give my rating for this at the very end, but for now, guys, that is just my opinion, and I want to thank you so much for tuning in. If you did enjoy my review, please give me the thumbs up, subscribe, leave a comment down below. I would love to hear your thoughts. So if I had to rate Abigail out of a 1 out of 10, I'm going to give this film a 6 out of 10. Yes, a 6 out of 10. That is still passing in my book, but guys, if you want to see the film, go see the film. It was entertaining. It just did not reach its full potential, unfortunately, but hey, that happens sometime. But guys, again, I just want to thank you so much for tuning in. And before you go, don't forget that my name is Brandon Keith Avery, and that's just my opinion. Peace.